I'm Abigail, and let me tell you a story. My story. When I was 16, my parents left me at a train station. Not by accident. Not because they forgot. They did it on purpose. They wanted to teach me a lesson, to see how long it would take me to find my way home. I never went back. But 20 years later, they found me. Not because they missed me. Not because they regretted what they did. They found me because they needed something. Money, support, control. And when I refused, they didn't stop at guilt. They turned my own family against me. They spread lies. They tried to destroy everything I built. July heat clung to my skin as I leaned against the car window, half asleep, my headphones drowning out the hum of the highway. My parents, Magnus and Celeste, sat up front, bickering about something I had long since tuned out. The road stretched endlessly ahead, cutting through miles of Alabama's back roads. We had just spent the weekend visiting my older sister, Vivienne, at college. The trip had been routine, Vivienne pretending everything was fine, Mom making passive-aggressive comments about how I should be more like my sister, and Dad barely acknowledging either of us unless it was to bark an order. I was used to it. It was just another day in our family, another lesson, another test. I cracked my eyes open as the car slowed down. A train station sat just off the highway, a relic of another time, rusted and nearly abandoned. Dad pulled into the lot, rolling the car to a stop by a pair of old vending machines. "Go grab me a soda," he said without looking at me. I yanked my headphones down and blinked. "What?" Mom turned in her seat, flashing me the kind of forced smile that never reached her eyes. "Get your father a drink, honey, and grab me a water." I sighed, pushing open the door. The heat hit me like a wall as I stepped out onto the cracked pavement. I didn't bother arguing. It never worked anyway. The vending machines sat beside the station entrance, their faded decals peeling from the years of sun exposure. I dug a crumpled $5 bill from my pocket and fed it into the slot, pressing the buttons for their drinks. The machines groaned, struggling against time before finally spitting out a lukewarm soda and a bottle of water. I turned, bottles in hand, expecting to see the car waiting where I left it. It wasn't. The lot was empty. For a second, my brain refused to register what I was seeing. Maybe they had moved to another spot? Maybe they were just out of sight. I took a step forward, my breath catching in my throat as I scanned the empty parking spaces. Then my phone buzzed. A text from Mom. "Let's see how long it takes you to get home. Consider this a lesson in problem solving." I felt my stomach drop. This wasn't a mistake. This wasn't a joke. They left me here. My fingers fumbled as I hit the call button. Straight to voicemail. I tried again. And again. Each time, the same hollow beep echoed in my ear. I stood there, gripping the soda so tightly, the plastic crinkled beneath my fingers. My heartbeat pounded in my ears, drowning out the distant sound of a train horn. They weren't coming back. It should have shocked me. It should have devastated me. But instead, an eerie calm settled over me. This wasn't the first time they'd pulled something like this. When I was 13, they had locked me outside in the middle of a storm because I forgot to take the trash out. At 14, they made me walk 6 miles home from school in the rain as punishment for missing the bus. This was just another lesson, another twisted way of proving that I was disposable. I glanced around the station. A handful of people moved about, oblivious to the 16-year-old girl standing there with nothing but her wallet and a growing sense of rage. I wasn't going to wait for them. I wasn't going to play their game. I checked my pocket. $140. Savings from my summer job. Not much, but enough. The old man behind the ticket counter barely looked up as I approached. "Where's the nearest bus station?" I asked, my voice steady despite the turmoil inside me. He pointed down the road. "Couple miles that way." I nodded, already moving. My phone buzzed again. Another text from Mom. "Don't you dare call your aunt. Your father says you need to figure this out on your own." I blocked the number. Then I did exactly what they told me not to. The phone rang twice before a familiar voice answered. "Abigail?" I swallowed hard. Aunt Marigold, can you help me? My voice was steady, but inside I was crumbling. Abigail? Marigold's voice was sharp with worry. Where are you? I swallowed hard, gripping the phone so tight my knuckles turned white. I was standing alone at a train station, abandoned by the people who were supposed to love me. My heart pounded in my chest, but my voice came out eerily steady. They left me, Aunt Marigold. They just drove away. There was a pause, then a sharp intake of breath. Stay right there, sweetheart. I'm coming to get you. That was 20 years ago. Now, I stood in the corner office of Haven Developments, my company, staring out over the Austin skyline. The city was alive, the streets below buzzing with movement, but in my office, it was just me and the past creeping back in. My phone sat on my desk, the screen still lit with missed calls. 39 of them. I ignored the unknown numbers. My eyes zeroed in on the only one that mattered. Vivian. A name I hadn't seen in 2 decades. My stomach twisted as I pressed play on the first voicemail. Abby, please pick up. Mom and Dad found you. They need your help. My grip on the phone tightened. That name, that tone. She still called me Abby, like we were kids, like nothing had happened. I exhaled sharply and deleted the voicemail. The next one was just crying. By the third, she sounded frantic. Abigail, please. You don't understand. They're desperate. Just talk to me. I set the phone down before I could smash it against my desk. They had found me, and I knew exactly what that meant. I walked away from them 2 decades ago with nothing but a bus ticket and a burning need to survive. I worked 3 jobs, slept in a studio apartment that smelled like mold, and clawed my way through college. Every brick of Haven Developments had been built with the life they tried to destroy. Now, just as I was finally free, they wanted back in. I sat down, hands shaking slightly as I ran them through my hair. My reflection in the window was calm, composed, but my mind was anything but. I knew this day would come. I just hadn't expected it to be now. I scrolled through my voicemails until I saw a name I hadn't spoken in 20 years. Magnus Holloway, my father. I hesitated for half a second before pressing play. The moment his voice hit my ears, something inside me froze. You think you're better than us now? His voice was slurred, thick with something I recognized all too well. Bitterness and alcohol. We made you, Abigail. Everything you have is because of us. I clenched my jaw as he rambled on. You think you can just erase us after everything we did for you? He scoffed. Well, guess what? Life doesn't work that way. You owe us. The voicemail ended abruptly. A second later, a text popped up. Your father is very disappointed in you, Abigail. We need to talk. Call us. I stared at the message, my chest tight, disappointed. They abandoned me at a train station, vanished from my life, and now I had disappointed them? The anger was white-hot. They hadn't changed, not one bit. I leaned back in my chair, my fingers tightening around my phone as I swallowed the lump in my throat. The part of me that was still 16, standing alone on that train platform, wanted to scream. But I wasn't 16 anymore. I wasn't lost. I wasn't alone. And I wasn't going to run this time. I opened my messages and typed out a response to Vivian. Tomorrow, Denny's on 5th, 7 a.m. Come alone or don't come at all. I hit send, then set my phone down and looked back out at the city. Tomorrow morning, I would see my sister for the first time in 20 years. And this time, I wasn't afraid. I was already at Denny's when Vivian walked in, eyes scanning nervously for me. She looked almost the same high cheekbones, same tense shoulders. But the years had added something new. The slight slump in her posture, the lines at the corners of her mouth. She had always been the perfect daughter, the one who obeyed, who smoothed things over, who played along. But now, she looked like someone carrying too many secrets. Our eyes met. For a moment, neither of us moved. Then, she made her way over, tucking a strand of hair behind her ear. Hey, Abby! I took a slow sip of my coffee before answering. I'm not Abby anymore. I'm Abigail. Her smile faltered. Right. Sorry. She slid into the booth across from me, fingers fidgeting with the laminated menu. It's been a long time, she said. I didn't reply. I just watched her, waiting for the real reason she was here. She sighed, setting the menu down. You look good. I raised an eyebrow. And you look nervous. Vivian let out a quiet laugh, but it didn't reach her eyes. Yeah, well, this is complicated. No, Viv. It's actually pretty simple. I leaned forward. You want something, just say it. Her lips pressed together. Then she exhaled. Mom and Dad, they're struggling. There it was. She didn't wait for me to respond. The words spilled out, rehearsed, practiced. Dad lost a lot of money gambling. Mom racked up debt. They're drowning, Abigail. The house is in foreclosure. I clenched my jaw, staring at her. They need help, she continued. They need you. I let out a slow, deliberate breath. I don't owe them a damn thing. Vivian flinched. I'm not asking you to forgive them. She swallowed. I just want you to listen. My fingers tightened around my coffee cup. The audacity of it. Listen. Had anyone listened to me when I was 16, standing alone at that train station? Had anyone listened when I was shivering in the rain because character building was more important than basic decency? I leaned back against the booth, my stomach twisting with something between rage and exhaustion. They didn't just make a mistake, Viv, I said, my voice like steel. They left me at a train station, on purpose. She winced. They came back. An hour later, I cut in. And whose fault was that? The air between us cracked, like a mirror splitting down the middle. Years of silence, of unspoken words, of pretending it hadn't been that bad. Vivian blinked rapidly, her fingers twisting in her lap. They thought you'd come home. They thought you'd... She trailed off, her voice breaking. They thought I'd crawl back, I finished for her. Like I always did. She stared at the table, her breathing shallow. I shook my head. I'm not their daughter anymore, Vivian. I haven't been for a long time. Her shoulders trembled, but I didn't soften. I reached into my pocket, pulled out a few bills, and dropped them onto the table. If they try to contact me again, I won't be so polite. Vivian stayed seated, staring at the table. I walked away without looking back. I thought that was the end of it. I was wrong. The next morning, I buried myself in work, trying to push the conversation with Vivian out of my mind. It had left a sour taste in my mouth, but I had no intention of letting it control my day. The past was the past, and I had built something real, something no one, not even them, could take away from me. Or so I thought. A sharp knock at my office door interrupted my focus. Jenny, my assistant, stood in the doorway, her face tight with something between discomfort and hesitation. Hey, I think you should see this. She stepped in, phone in hand, hesitating before passing it to me. I frowned and took it. The screen was open to Facebook. My breath caught in my throat as I read the words on the screen. Our daughter abandoned us in our old age after everything we sacrificed for her. Below it, another post. We raised her to be strong, and this is how she repays us? Heartless. I felt a slow, burning heat creep up my neck. They were painting themselves as victims, as if they were the ones who had suffered. There were hundreds of comments, strangers condemning me, people sharing the posts, some even tagging my company's page. I scrolled through the responses, my stomach twisting. Wow, I can't believe some kids treat their parents like this. What a disgrace. Ungrateful brat. I hope she rots alone. Money changes people. Shame on her. I slammed the phone down on my desk. Jenny shifted uncomfortably. I didn't want to show you, but it's spreading. Clients are seeing it. Some people have even left bad reviews on Haven Development's page, calling you a cold-hearted fraud. My pulse pounded in my ears. This wasn't just a few Facebook posts. It was a full-scale attack. I took a slow, deep breath, forcing the tremor from my hands. Who else knows about this? Jenny hesitated. Some of the staff. A few of our bigger clients. I think some of them are waiting to see how you respond. I nodded slowly. Okay. Thanks, Jenny. I'll handle it. The moment she left, I picked up my phone and dialed a number I hadn't called in years. Vivian answered on the third ring. Abby? Her voice was wary. My grip tightened around the phone. Did you know about this? A long silence stretched between us. Finally, she exhaled. I told them not to, but they're desperate, Abby. I let out a humorless laugh. Desperate people don't destroy their own children. They just want help, Vivian tried. They think this is the only way to get through to you. I scoffed. By lying? By turning strangers against